All right, joining us now, Chloe Abbott. She was runner-up at the NCAA 400 back in 2019. Current guest. No, what are you? Contestant. What's the terminology for what you're doing on The Voice?
Technically, I am a contestant being on The Voice right now.
All right, break it down for us because you're talking to track fans now. They may not be singing fans. They may not be game show fans. Give us the 60-second. How does this whole thing work, and how do we get you to win?
Yeah, so basically, The Voice is a reality singing show where you go on and you sing in front of four coaches that don't see you. You just sing, and if they like you and they want to turn for you, which means if they want to work with you further, they will press their button, turn their chair, realize who you are, get all excited, and then you guys are together now, you and the coach or coaches that turn for you, and you guys progress throughout the competition, working on different songs, singing a lot of different covers, and just getting coached by some of the best. That's debatable, but some really cool people, as coaches that are working in the industry right now. So it's definitely not like track, but it's still pretty interesting. I feel like it's pretty competitive.
What is the nerves like going on stage with the lights when you're competing with your voice versus competing with your legs? And what's like similarities between the nerves of before a big track race and the differences?
Honestly, like I've it's not the same at all. Like at all. I think like track and field is way harder. Like lining up to compete, to race, it's a different type of nerve. It's like that type of nerve is like I'm excited, I'm ready, but I also like know it's gonna hurt. So like you kind of have to like block out the pain sensory things that happen in your mind before a race. But like for the voice, it was like I'm not it was not a it was an excited nervousness. It was like a, ooh, I can't wait, especially because I'm not gonna be in pain. I'm not gonna like go out and like have to feel like fatigue in my legs and like have to fight for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like you just go out there, you sing. If they like you, then they turn. If they don't like you, then you don't turn, and then you either gain or lose, and you don't really lose too much. But I feel like prepping for it definitely was the same. I kind of like locked in similarly to how I compete. Just the voice is like really intense. It's a very high pressured situation. You're locked in a hotel for like a month, and you're just practicing this song over and over and over again, and you're trying to get it right. You're doing practices throughout the day, production commitments, and it's definitely a lot. And you don't realize how much it is until like you like leave the hotel and you're like, oh my God. Like Bobby like let me like take a week off from practice and everything because it was so much work. Like they work you. But so I think preparation wise, it was similar to track and field, like double day practices and, eating right. With singing, you have to warm up almost every single day, twice a day to keep your vocals lubricated and properly, in the right places. And then you can't eat certain things like sugar and, juice that has a lot of sugar in it. It's just like similar to track and field, restricting certain things, but just for different purposes. So,
What is there like you know, I I think I can sing, but I'm not that great of a singer. I try singing, and I know there are certain
mm-hmm.
notes that I try to hit where I know like I don't know if it's gonna be I'm gonna hit it on this day. Like I don't know if I'm ready for it. Similar to like in a race where like am I gonna have it in that final 150 in that final 50 meters? So when you're in the
Right.
middle of singing a song when it's like it's one take, you don't get to sing it twice. Is there a point where like you're thinking ahead, be like, am I gonna be able to hit that note the same way? Am I gonna have it in my legs in the final 50?
Um, Kind of. I never thought of it that way. I feel like with singing, it's like yeah, like it's very similar to track and field because it's like you really have to just go for it. Like it's like, yeah, you may get lactic and you may like feel that monkey jump on your back that last 50 meters, but like if you think about it that way, then it's like it's gonna happen. It's inevitable at that point. Like it's over for you. And so I feel like with the same thing with singing, it's like you know it's coming. Like, you know that the note's going to come. So at this point, you might as well just give it your all. And even if you don't hit the note, like, you just got to follow through with confidence, you know? I feel like track and field exposes you a little bit more. Like, you don't, no matter how confident you look at that point, like, it's over. Like, it's obvious. There's only 8 people in this race. Like, it's either you win or you lost. Like, it speaks for itself. There's nothing really to calculate. It's just that obvious. But like with music, it's like you can be like, oh well, she probably was just tired, or she probably just didn't drink enough water in the beginning of the song. It's like track and field's like, no, she lost. That's it. And she didn't have it in her, and that's it, because 7 other people got her or whatever. So it's similar, but I think the biggest similarity is the preparation with track and field and singing. I think that I'm honestly really grateful to be a professional athlete being in that situation, because a lot of singers and creatives never been in a high pressure situation where they have to compete at a high level in front of a whole bunch of people. And a lot of them fold, like they don't really know how to handle it, because they've only, done coffee bars and sang at, little gigs around for their families, but like never in front of 4 prestigious judges that, really want you to sing your best on that stage in that moment. So a lot of people did fold. But I think track and field prepared me for that. So I was like, oh, this was a cakewalk, like compared to a track meet to me, like cakewalk.
You've been singing for a while. People who follow your career know that you used to sing national anthem when you were at Purdue, and you've released music. Yeah. I'm guessing though the attention that you're getting for it now is much bigger than any other moment in your singing career. Can you just describe what the reception has been like?
Yeah, I feel like it's interesting, because obviously I thought it was going to be, it's super hard to gauge sometimes with reality TV, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you're not in control of the narrative. You're not really in control of what goes out. You're not really in control of the videos they post, So like at that point, you're kind of leaving your fate and your public, persona up to the hands of producers that are just trying to do their job. So I feel like it has been interesting, because I've never really been looked at as like someone who's doing singing full time. And I think when people saw me doing The Voice, it's like, oh my gosh, you're really doing this. And I will say it creates another level of like, oh, so if you're actually doing this, and that means that we hold you to another level of expectation now. Now it's not like you're just singing for fun. Now it's like, oh, now that you're actually taking this seriously, let's get into the details of each song you just sang. And it just opens up the door to a lot more like chatter and a lot more like scrutiny. But like I said, I mean, I feel like I experienced that for the first time with that 4x4 at Purdue with Kendall Ellis. And, our 4x4 getting tracked down or whatever. Like, that was the first time I feel like I've ever experienced like hate on like social media. And so, and it wasn't even directed to me, but it was just like our team got like, and we still get like, like that happened so long ago. Like,
random TikToks pop up of that clip sometimes.
Yeah, like it'll be like an anniversary, like, oh yeah, remember so many years ago when this happened. And it's like, guys, this always happens. This always happens in track and field. Like, let us not forget, like, people always get hawked down. But ever since that situation, I've learned how to like handle the scrutiny, or like, opinions of other people that, don't know anything about track field or don't know anything about music. So I feel like being a professional athlete is really kind of, especially in the public eye. I mean, and then if I talk super transparently, I mean, like turning pro has not been easy. I've been very open and transparent about that in my journey. And I've heard so many things about me being a professional athlete and not being able to run the same way I ran in college and all that jazz. And it's like, when you're a professional athlete, you sign up for the wins and the losses, and the injuries, and you sign up for the entire journey. So I've kind of had to grasp that. But in the same token, like with The Voice, when you are on the show, you're signing up for whatever those producers want to put out for you. And you're signing up for whoever has something to say about you in a negative way or a positive way. Like, it's just a part of the game, like, so you got to pay attention to it and let it fuel you in a negative or positive way, or you just ignore it and live your life and keep pursuing what you want to pursue.
You mentioned Bobby earlier. You're out in LA now with a new training group. Obviously, a lot of huge names in that training group. You have world record holders like Kenny Harrison, Sydney McLaughlin, Neroni, a thing Mo. What's that been like, and who do you train with on a day-to-day basis out there?
Oh man, honestly, this has been one of the most transformative experiences being with this group. I mean, last year I was with Bobby as well, but it was just me and Morlake, Akinison, and then Sydney and Allison. And I mean, being in that group already was just like, whoa. I mean, I've always dreamed of working with Allison, like running with her, but let alone like being her teammate at one
Mhm.
point. So that was huge. And then, right, our group just progressed. Like out the blue, randomly. Just this big old, everyone's pulling up to LA and we're all gonna train together and be like teammates. And I was like, okay. And so on a regular basis, Jenna wouldn't be happy to say this, but we train together pretty often. But Jenna, I'm a 400-meter runner, and Jenna's, 200-meter specialist. But sometimes she has to do my workouts. And so whenever we have a workout together, she's like, I want to work with you. Like, it's gonna be hard today. Like, you guys are always putting me with Chloe. But it's been really huge. I think for me, the biggest thing is like having support from people like Kenny and Jenna, specifically, because they are vets in the game and they also have been through, the scrutiny of people overlooking their races or having so much to say about them, and like just different, I think, aspects of track and field that not a lot of people talk about, the anxiety that comes with it, or like just the real life things that happen when you're trying to just do your job and do a good job at it. And it's been great being able to talk to them because they have just normalized the experiences that I've had, and they'd be like, "Oh, girl, I went through that. It's all right. Like, it's okay. Things happen. Like, you just gotta, refocus and just prioritize what needs to be prioritized." So having not only them, but like a thing in Brandon Miller, who I think are also fabulous additions to the team. I mean, they are so joyous, and like they're only 21 years old. So like sometimes we'll like try and go and hang out as a team, and we can't go to certain places because they're like not of age. So it's like, okay, we forget sometimes, like, we're not in college, and we aren't in college at all. And so it's nice having like them too, like breaking up. I think like we all have just such special personalities, and I think that's why Formula Kersee has been kind of formulated, because it's just nice to give the track world like an insight on like, like our personalities and how we're all so different. There's unsponsored people and sponsored people in the group, and we all have different levels of greatness that we've achieved. Obviously, Sid with like a world record, Kenny with her world record at one point, and Jenna with the just how amazing her mind is. I could talk about Jenna all day. More like Kay, and like how many relays she's been on. She's like competed with almost every single vet in the game. More like Kay. And then Maya, who's been working with Allison during the BK Riders, era, where
Yeah.
it was just every vet from that point, and so I think it's just been nice, like having so many, like a vast range of talent all in one area. And I think we really do like push each other. Like there's so many things that like I used to struggle with. And then like coming now to the group, being able to just talk to them in an open way has been amazing. And I've been able to just have a lot more confidence and like motivation, because like, we're going to do relays, and we're going to like, when we practice together, like we don't just die by ourselves, we're dying together. And it's
Mhm.
just, it kind of reminds me of college, and it's just been a really great like experience, because as a professional athlete, you don't really have those team experiences as you did in college. So not only having a team, but then having a team of vets, it's like, okay, I think this is great. Like it's awesome. So it's really been like transformative since working with them as a group. So yeah.
Have you ever like just in practice seen something like amazing that no one else is ever going to be able to see because it wasn't filmed? Like I imagine seeing Sydney do some rep might have been like, what did I just see? Or seeing a Thing Mo do a 400 some at one point is like, what did I just like? Has there ever been something that you saw like, well, I just saw a history that no one's ever going to know about?
Yes, on a regular basis. And I mean, like, and it's awesome when we see those things and we're just like, wait, what did she just do? Wait, what did a thing just run? Oh, she just did like repeat, I don't know, 400s in the same time every single time. Is she negative splitting? Like, does she only have 9 seconds rest? Like, there's so many things that happen in the group that like we are just like, Jesus. Especially with Kendra. Kenny is really like, I mean, I think like her focus and like at practice, I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned being in this group. It's like when we pull up to practice, it's not a game. Like it's not, we're not here for play. Like we're not here to just do what Bobby's telling us to do and then go home. It's like, no, this is our job. Like we eat, sleep, and breathe this thing. And I think that's something that I learned because I am super chill. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna pull up, work out, do what we gotta do, go home, see you tomorrow. But like, no, like everyone has their process. And like, I mean, I think like I was saying, Kenny's focus, I think, is just the thing that I've paid attention to the most. She gets to practice and it's all work, no play. Like, and I kind of love it because it kind of reminds me of like we're not here to just run 50 point or like 23, 22. Like we're here to break records. We're here to like put our names on the walls. Like we're here to like really change the sport, you know, with what we're doing. And so it just puts everything into perspective. Like this is not a game. And yeah, so I practice. And even with Formula Kersee, I think like we're like, okay, we want to show people some stuff, but like we also really love how, you know, there's things that are happening that, right, like not everyone's going to be able to see. And we love that. And I think that's what keeps the group so cool because we want to open, you know, we want to show the world what's going on with who we are, but there's also a beauty in like keeping things really intimate and keeping practice and not getting wrapped up in the hype of trying to make Formula Kersee a big thing, you know? So yeah, there's moments when I'm like, what the freak? Like, what? Oh, okay. And we just sit there and we just say, all right, next rep. And Bobby, you know, Bobby's just like always just walking around cool. Like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. All right, next group. Like, let's go. So it's awesome.
Last question, going back to the voice, and then we'll let you go. You're on Team Chance the Rapper, as people know who have been paying attention. I don't know the mechanics of the show though. Like, how much is left to take? Is it already done? Like what's the process from here until everybody else sees it?
Yeah, so a lot of the episodes are pre-recorded, and then in May, that's when the live shows happen, and that's when
Oh, okay.
people can actually vote in and yeah, like send votes and all that jazz. So yes, I do. I think the next episode actually airs March 27th, and that is the battle rounds where Chance puts all of us together. Like he puts two people together that are on the same team. So the teams are battling against one another and we sing a duet. And, you know, then Chance will be able to pick, you know, who sang better. So, like I said, it was like another competition aspect. And I was like, okay, let's line up. Like, let's go. Like, it's you against me. Like, I'm not new to this. I'm not new to competition. So I think that also is cool. Like, some people, they fold, and some people, they're able to stand up and do what they got to do. So, and then at the end of the day, it's really kind of what the coaches want to hear the most, you know? Like, it's really up to them. No matter how good you sing or how bad you sing, it's really up to them. So it's just like so much things up left for chance, you know? So
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. Like
Well, I think you've made history because you're the only person to be simultaneously coached by Bobby Kersee and Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a record that's ever going to be broken.
No, unless, you know, someone else on your group also can sing. I think. Can Brandon Miller throw down some lyrical rhymes? No? Does he have any talent there?
No.
Yeah,
and I love him, but no. No.
Does anybody have any singing talent in the group?
Or that you don't want to out them because then it'll be like, oh, we're asking to sing in the press conference.
Chloe said you could sing.
Yeah, a thing. Just start
Chloe
singing.
said you're really good.
I would hear that forever, and they would not let that down. I would say the closest person to singing well actually would be Kenny. Like
Okay.
Kenny. There's because we have very similar interests in music, we've learned. And so I think Kenny would be the one to be the singer, but like don't ever ask him.
Heavy quotes of singing. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is like very like for interview purposes,
Who
but
tries the
I
hardest?
think so.
Who tries the hardest? They don't have the talent, but man, they really want it when it comes to singing.
I don't think any of them actually try.
Oh, okay.
Like if I'm gonna be honest, like because I sing all the time. I'm always singing, like
Yeah.
at practice, and we're just hanging out, and no one actually like goes out and like tries to do it. Everyone I think just is like, "Yep, that's you," and we're just gonna let your freak fly. Like we're not gonna dabble in it.
Yeah.
But you got to just pay attention because some people do, but just not in public.
Maybe they're intimidated by your ability, so they wait till you're off the track and then they all start busting into
Yeah,
show tunes.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Glee when
Yeah.
she leaves.
She's gone. Now we can sing, and it's all
Chloe's
just
clear.
like, yeah.
I feel like no. I feel like everyone really is just like, like our group. I don't think is like that type of we just want to. Yeah, no one. Honestly, there are some rap. I'm not gonna expose who, but there is someone who tries to rap.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll make that
We're
our
gonna do
point.
some
I'm
investigation on
I'm
that.
not gonna say. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah, I was not the singing, but there's someone who likes to rap sometimes.
All
I
right.
have an idea who I think it is.
We can investigate.
We'll
that.
investigate that later.
Chloe, thanks a bunch for your time. You got a lot going on out there. We appreciate you taking some of the time out of your day to chat with us, and best of luck on the track and also on the show.
Yeah, stay tuned to NBC. Definitely stay tuned to the battle rounds, and yeah, just excited to rep the track and field world and do what I do. So thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Chloe.
Thank you.